wanna do now is making it last. Mothers and fathers, sisters and brothers, friends forever, strengthening the ties that keep us together. Mothers and fathers, sisters and brothers, friends forever, strengthening the ties that keep us together.
It's time for another conversation. It is the Making It Last podcast. I'm your host, Noreen Daly. And this time around, I have, they talk about relationship goals. It's one of the couples that I actually admire. They probably didn't know that, but you should see the reaction on their faces right now. But you can't because you're listening. I have Tamarie and Dexter Williams. How are both of you doing?
We're good.
We're good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
The question that we'll be answering, how can couples maintain their individuality within marriage or within a marriage? Why this couple? I get a sense for what I've known, because I've known them in different circles, and I get a sense that as much as when I see them together, it's obvious that they're a couple, I still get a sense that even outside of that, Tamarie remains Tamarie and Dexter is still Dexter. Now, tell me if I'm off with that, either one of you, and tell me how long have you been together, whether dating and then evolving into marriage.
I'll take that one.
All right.
What we do maintain our individuality. There are parts of us that is unique, and it makes it interesting, and it makes it something we can look forward to, special, because had I taken on his persona and he mine, then it would have gotten boring. So we still maintain our individuality. We've been married for 11 years, and we've dated 3 years prior to that.
Now, what are some of the things that you end up doing then? Because this podcast is all about helping people to have better relationships. And somebody might just hear something that might not necessarily help them because they're in a marriage relationship, but even outside of that. So what are some of the things that each of you end up doing to make sure you don't lose that sense of who you are as an individual?
For one, I remain myself, the person she fell in love with. Yes, and if I had changed that I wouldn't be the person she fell in love with.
What do you do?
Get into that. I keep my friends. Yes. I do what I normally do. I go to the gym when I get the chance. I do my different functions that I normally do. I give my jokes and all those things that I normally do. The only thing that probably changed is the time I would spend with others. Now I have to spend it with my family.
He looks forward to coming home. Don't worry.
Yes, really do.
Okay.
If they're not at home, I don't want to be at home, honestly. Yeah.
Okay, they're making tell about the family, because we didn't tell them that, there is actually more than just Tamarie and Dexter. They're extensions. So tell us a little bit about that before we continue.
Also, we have Demario. He's 7 years old. And Dijanique, she's 1.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. All right, so Tamarie, what are some of the things that you do to make sure that you remain Tamarie?
Well, I do like my me time. So sometimes I have friends, we'll hang out, we'll go to the spa occasionally, we'll go, if we can't afford it, we'll go window shopping. We go out and eat together, we'll talk on the phone. But then even at home, I still have my little time away, because we do our individual worship.
Okay.
We'll pray separate, and then we come together as a family. So that helps. And that kind of connection that we have with the Lord, we like to make time whenever we can to have our individual worship. Then we'll have our family worship. Additionally, we do maintain the relationships and the friendships that we had previously. But because we became a couple, we earned other friends. Is that the word? We got other friends because
Okay.
they too were couples and that kind of. So we have a wider circle of friends now that we got while we became us, a couple.
Yeah.
And one of the things too, even at church, we are involved in various activities and our skills and talents are used in different areas.
Okay.
That's not necessarily a reflection of him or a reflection of me, but it's based on what God has given us. We work in different capacities.
I noticed that one of the things that both of you says you actually, still maintain your friends, because there's some people who, for whatever reason, I'm not sure where that mindset came from, that once you become a couple, it means you do not have time for other things.
You have to make the time.
Okay.
It takes effort because it's tempting sometimes, especially in the first couple months of marriage, to get so consumed that you neglect your other relationships. And it's okay. You're forgiven for the first couple of months because it's a honeymoon phase, but you still need to make the effort to reach out because you had these friends before and you wouldn't want it to be because, oh, no, I'm married. I don't have time for you, because that in itself is not healthy. We need to be able to go to somebody else and talk to, to have that. Sometimes Dexter may not understand something I want to say that I could say to my girlfriend, and that helps. And sometimes when he talks with his friends, I may not get it. He can't talk shop with me, cars and all those things, because I will not be able to relate. So he'll have to have his friends who he can relate to, and they can reminisce and things like those.
Okay. I noticed also that you said that you actually spend time to have individual worship and then as a family. Talk to me about it, because somebody listening might say, but no, really, as a family, you're supposed to worship together. Why then is it so important to make sure that you have that individual time with God before you have time together with God as a family?
When you spend time alone, you tell God everything. You talk to him. You pour out your all in all to him, and that gives you the strength to move on. If you're having a struggle that you might not want to share with your spouse at the time, we don't keep secrets. No. So if there's something that is going on, like in my head, that I think I need to straighten out, I talk to God about it.
Okay.
And then my time I spend with him. There are a lot of times after getting off my knees, I find it easier to communicate a certain thing that I wanted to communicate, So we had God before we started dating, while we were dating, and we keep him in a relationship. And that's one of the biggest things in our lives.
It really helps.
And I can remember when we were dating, when
Digital 3 minutes.
Digital 3 minutes came in.
Oh,
yes, yes, man. VIP.
Yes.
okay.
And sometimes the minutes used to finish, So she said to me one day, why don't we study the Bible together? And man, we used to look forward in doing that. We used to look forward for that. And Friday evenings when she would come down from NCU, we would go to the river and review our lesson. And, it was just fun. So we keep God in our relationship. And that is very important. When we go together to worship now, oh man, that is good. Especially, I am a Sabbath school teacher, and there are times when I'm going through the lesson together, there are certain points that she will bring out. Yes, that it wasn't coming out to me. So when we do it together, it really helps. Yes.
Nice. You've both of you have said several things. Idea that you've kept your individual friends and you've even gained friends as a couple. Dexter started out saying that he has maintained, the life he had before. You said you make sure you have your me time, and we made reference just now in terms of making sure there's individual worship before the family worship. Are there any other things that you'd like to mention in terms of what you've done to maintain your individual? Because the reality is, I know that it is that you're not going to say you have a perfect marriage, but I would say that, you found your rhythm and you're making it work. So
a simple thing as diet, as food. I mean, Dexter is vegetarian, While I embrace the idea of vegetarianism and I appreciate it, and I find joy in making the vegetarian meals, I'm
However.
not yet converted.
Okay. All right.
And so I'm still working on that
Okay.
part. But at home, we don't cook meat as often, but I do indulge when I get the chance. And I think that makes us different. And one of the great things about it is that because he knows I still love my chicken, and one day he says I'm going to fly, but we work on that. But because he knows I love my chicken, he'll be at work and they'll have like a lunch day and they don't serve fish, but he'll know they have chicken. He'll buy a chicken lunch for me just so because he know that I love chicken.
Nice.
And he's going to bring chicken for me. So even the choices that we make in terms of that actually works. He loves pineapple and I'm allergic. But I know I will get pineapple and I'll take it home for him, even though I can't stay in the room when he's eating it. But I know he loves it, and I will make an effort to make sure he has it. And of course, it's similar with ackee.
Yes.
I'll cook him all the ackee in the world that he wants, but I can't eat ackee because I'm also allergic. So I, in my sense, I'm looking out for me, but I'm also looking out for him in the same process.
And I will make sure that I don't kiss her if I eat ackee.
Even on our wedding day.
Even on our wedding day, I could not get to eat ackee and saltfish that we provided because I could not kiss her if I did. Yeah.
Interesting.
And there's no way I was going to give up kissing her on that day. So,
So he sacrificed that eating ackee on that day.
To make sure that the
make
kiss
sure.
could happen. That the kiss could happen. We've heard a lot from Tamarie and Dexter. Now, how can couples maintain their individuality within a marriage? As we're wrapping up, any final words from either of you?
All right. One of the things you want to do is you cannot love another person unless you love yourself, and you can't seek to work on your relationship unless you work on yourself. And the truth is, there are times when we may have challenges in communication and in our relationship overall. It's because we are not working on us. And it's important that we understand that we came into our marriages. For me, I understood on the day of our wedding when the pastor asked, is there anything that you know of that could cause whatever the vow was, whatever the question was? But for me, I thought about it. I actually stood there and I thought about it. Is there anything that I probably didn't say that I needed to say? Because at the end of the day, you want to make sure that you're true to yourself and you're true to the person that you're committing your lives to. And that's that thing for me is key. Even though Jesus himself was all to everyone, he still had to take time for himself. He took time out to worship and to pray to God in the mornings before he was able to go. Because sometimes the world can pull so much from us and we lose ourselves. And even our relationships, we lose ourselves in the next person. And it's important that we maintain who we are, because at the end of the day, you want to have a healthy relationship. If I'm not happy with who I am, then I'm not going to be happy with you. And that's what's going to cause problems in the home. That's my take on things.
I don't keep secrets from my wife. And I know she doesn't keep secrets from me. So when we're talking, we're not, trying to hide anything.
And
so
I talk in my sleep, so that wouldn't help.
Yeah, and we communicate openly, and what I find out is that, for one, if I have an issue, if we have a teeth and tongue, as him might say, we don't go to bed unless we trust it out. So we don't do head and tail and other room and the couch and those things. So that is something that you need to work on as a couple, to understand each other, know what each other love, know what they dislike, know what they hate, right? And then you work on that and you try to make each other happy. Because when my wife is sad, I am sad. But then the good thing about it is that I'm a person who, although I'm sad, I'll try. Well, I think I accomplished that a lot of times. I make her happy afterwards. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
In different ways.
Yes. Find some way to make her laugh, and laughter is good.
It's good.
Okay. Thank you so much, Tamarie and Dexter.
Okay, you're welcome.
Yes, you're welcome, my dear.
All right. You heard from Tamarie and Dexter. And if you got nothing else, I hope what resonated with me just now is the whole idea of staying true to yourself, and the whole idea that if you're not happy with yourself, how then will you then be happy with somebody else? And then specifically when you're in a relationship, try to ensure you work on understanding each other and trying to make sure that each other is happy.
Yeah.
It continues to be my pleasure to have these ongoing conversations. This was Noreen Daly with Making It Last podcast, where it's all about trying to help us to have better relationships, not just with ourselves, but with other people. Until next time.
You loving me, I loving you. Mothers and fathers, husbands and wives, sisters and brothers, friends for life won't live.